Chitananda Rupa Shivoham. Chapana Samnya Navai Panchavayu Navatsapta Dhatur Navapanchakosha Navatpani Padau Nachopastapayu Navatpani Padau Nachopastapayu Chitananda Rupa Shivoham. Chitananda Rupa Shivoham. Chitananda Rupa Shivoham. Chitananda Rupa Shivoham.
Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, Shri Mataji Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over again. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over again. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul, restoreth my soul.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to this week's session. I will just make it larger for everyone. There we go. Shri Mataji. Hello, everyone. Welcome to session 16 of the Ashram series. Hello to our YouTube viewers as well. Just a reminder to YouTube viewers, if you ever want to join in the Zoom sessions, you can always go to yogis.com.au/ashram and join from there. Otherwise, for today, we didn't have a chit-chat session, so it's all good, whichever platform you're on. So I hope you're all keeping well. Your week's been going well, and meditations, everything's going fine in your part of the world. So today's session, I just kept it very spontaneous. Didn't have much in mind in what to do, and it just sort of came to me like, let's do that theme on Lord Buddha again. So you guys might remember, if you're following the chat group, that around the 8th of May, it was a special ceremony or festival that is a very big event for Buddhist people, which is Buddha Purnima, or the birthday of Buddha, which falls around the full moon. So there was a bit of confusion. I mistakenly said Purnima means birthday, but it means full moon. But the event commemorates his birth, but also his enlightenment as well, because they say that when he got his enlightenment, he when he opened his eyes and got his realization, he saw a rising star against sort of the full moon, and that also commemorates his enlightenment as well. So I know maybe you might remember from one of the earlier sessions, I think in the advanced series, we did talk a little bit about who he was. So I just thought today we'll just focus on him again, knowing that he looks after our right agya, which is on the right side of the, no, sorry. He looks after your right channel. This is where we all get a bit muddled up sometimes. So your right channel crosses and it's on the left side of your brain, which is called the right agya, but can get a bit confusing. And he looks after the ego. So you might remember when we used to teach you about the deities, you've got Christ on the center. So that's a cross. And then you've got Lord Buddha for that side to look after your right channel. So just remember that, okay, Buddha represents the right channel. And then of course the two channels cross. And then you have another deity, which was called Mahavira, that looks after the left side or the other side of the brain, which is our super ego and conditionings. So Buddha is your ego and your identity, self of I-ness, or identity of yourself. And then you've got Mahavira at the other side. So I thought, let's watch a little video. I found this really nice little cute video on YouTube, sort of directed like for children, that has a little bit of a short story of who was Buddha. And then I'll just elaborate a little bit more, and you might remember some of the things I'll share with you. And then we'll just do a little meditation, listen to Mother's talk, and pretty much call it a day. Something just fell down, that's okay. So basically, the aim is that sometimes when pujas or there's festivals happening, we try to align these sessions to cater for that, to help you guys build that knowledge even more. But you know, if you ever find that there's some aspect of Sahaja Yoga you ever want to know more about more of a deity, things like that, you know, don't ever hesitate to drop me a message and say, you know, I'd like to learn more about this or more about that. That's the purpose of the Ashram series, to go that step further and delve into things a lot deeper as well. I'll also give everyone a heads up now, just in case, you know, maybe sometimes you don't check messages. There's going to be a bit of a change in the coming days, in that some of our fellow yogis who did the 21-day course in, say, November, December, Jan, Feb, they've now done an intermediate series. You guys might remember I mentioned last time, called Going Deeper. So for the month of May, there was a 4-week session happening at around 9 p.m. Sydney time on Wednesdays. There was a Monday session, a Thursday session, whereby these folks were learning extra elements, which you guys already would have learned. So your mantras, the puja, etc. And some of you may have been attending the Going Deeper sessions. And if so, I hope you have been enjoying it. I've heard a lot of positive things about it. And that Going Deeper series is going to come to an end this week, which means those folks who are part of that, they're going to graduate to become yogis, in a sense, like you guys, and fall part of the Ashram series. And so what's going to happen is that currently we have our WhatsApp group, as you guys know, called Ashram Series Group, and it's got the little sunflower. In the coming days, that group is going to rename to Ashram Series Group A. And the folks who did the Going Deeper, because there's about, I think, 130 people there, that group is going to rename to Ashram Series Group B. So ideally, in a perfect world, we want to bring, of course, the two WhatsApp groups together to ease communication, and we can share things more, etc. But because WhatsApp has a limit on how many participants you can have, we have to keep two groups. So if you find, going forward by the end of the week that you're part of two groups that are called Ashram Series Group A and B, you are welcome to leave one if you need to. If you want to stay in both, it's completely fine as well, because the aim will be we will keep very consistent messaging in both. So it's completely up to you. If you're getting a lot of messages in your WhatsApp, just letting you know that Ashram Series Group A and B eventually will pretty much be the same thing. And then on that note, what we will have from next week is still our Wednesday sessions at 8:30 p.m. Sydney time. But we also have Auntie Jenny, who does sessions, as you guys probably have seen her messages. She does sessions on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. from Burwood Ashram, Sydney. That will also come part of our Ashram series. So it'll be on our website. It'll have YouTube, a Zoom component as well. And it's just to give you guys more flexibility that, let's say sometimes you can't drop in on a Wednesday, maybe you'd like to attend Tuesday, or you'd like to attend both. It's completely up to you. So just keep a watch out. Messages like that will come in the next coming days. And these sessions will still remain, the Wednesday ones. But yes, there will be an additional one on Tuesday as well, which you're more than welcome to join, as many of you know, Auntie Jenny as well. I think we had a message from Anne. So Anne has shared, you'd like to learn Havan, how to make it, what mantras are used, and what things need to be put besides the fire. Thank you, Anne. That's a really good suggestion. So Havan, Havan, you guys might remember, did we do it in the advanced series? Now I'm blanking out. I think we did one in the advanced series, or we may not have. We did do the puja. But just really quickly, a Havan is basically, it's a very ancient sort of ritual that could sort of stem from India, where it was a way of giving respect to the fire element. So the way it's done is that you'd have a lot of, sort of back in the day, and you are now priests and people sitting around this kind of metal dome with fire in it. And then things would be offered in the fire, like some form of rice or I don't know, natural ingredients, things like that. And then prayers and mantras are sometimes offered as well. And these havans sometimes were done for reasons such as, clearing negativity. Some people do it nowadays when they buy a new house. When you buy a new home, they do a havan to clear out any negativity in that house. Sometimes it's done in a Sahaja Yoga sense. It's done sort of ad hoc basis when we can feel there's a lot of negativity happening in the world and impacting us. Then your collective ashrams in your local cities also will do havans at times to collectively come together, say some of the mantras, and then offer those negativities into the fire element. So that's just a very quick new nutshell. So maybe Anne, I know you messaged regarding, say, a new house. I might message you after the session a bit to have a chat and cater to you. But in general, about what is a havan, how it's done, etc., I might incorporate that in the coming sessions as well. And just keeping in mind that sometimes, if you feel like, okay, you are going through a lot of negativities and you're like, okay, I can't do a full-fledged havan, like get a metal thing and put fire in it and whatnot, might scare neighbors, or maybe you live in an apartment. Sometimes people do like a shortcut havan where they may put a few like candles on a tray, and then do the process of the havan, which is saying certain mantras, and then of course offering the negativity. So it's like a bit of a mini Havan in that sense as well. But yeah, we will come to that in the coming sessions as well. And also I may also share Auntie Rita. You guys might remember Rita from one of our yogis who's run some of the sessions. She, I believe, has done a session on Havan, which I think she has recorded. So I can also get that from her while we also organize a session. So thanks, Anne, for that suggestion. And I will get back to you after today to know what else you'd like to know. Okay, I think enough talking my end. So let's begin our session. So if we all would like to just raise our Kundalini and put on our bandha. So what we'll do is we'll start with a little video first, as mentioned. And it's going to be from YouTube. So what I'll do is just a heads up. I'll max the volume, of course, on YouTube. But if you find on your end, it's a little bit soft or hard to hear, please don't be afraid to turn it up on your device so that you can enjoy the sound better. So we'll watch this little video first, and then we'll kickstart our session and get into our meditation. So watch this now. So it's just a very quick 4-minute clip on the story of Buddha.
Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha was born to the king and queen of Kapilavastu as Prince Siddharth around 566 BC. Soon after his birth, an astrologer predicted that he was destined to live his life as a saint by abdicating the throne and giving up all worldly pleasures. His parents Shuddhodana and Maya Devi were shattered by the news and decided to prevent this from happening by keeping a close watch on him and sheltering him from the outside world. His parents hoped that he would get used to the luxuries of the palace and therefore never give it up. At age 16, he was married to Yashodhara, the beautiful daughter of a nobleman. Siddharth's curiosity grew with age, and one day he asked his charioteer to take him on a tour of the city. The first person they came across was an old man who seemed weak and frail. The charioteer explained that along with age comes weakness and failing health. He then came across a sick man who was in great pain, and finally a procession carrying a dead body to the cremation ground. He was told that everyone would die one day and leave this world. At the end of the tour, he chanced upon a sage who appeared calm and serene, and after inquiring, Siddharth was told that such men give up their worldly possessions in search of inner peace. Siddharth was deeply troubled by his first experience of the outside world. He decided that to answer all his questions about life and death, he would have to leave the palace and give up his palatial life. At the age of 29, Siddharth left the palace one night while his wife and son were still sleeping. After trying different ways to find the path of truth, he finally reached the city of Bodh Gaya and started meditating under a large fig tree. After 49 days of meditation, at the age of 35, Siddhartha attained enlightenment. From that day on, he was known as Buddha, or the Awakened One, after the Bodhi tree under which he meditated. Gautam Buddha shared his knowledge with 5 sannyasis who meditated with him, and also travelled across the country teaching the key principles of Buddhism known as the Noble Truth. They are: the world is full of suffering and misery. Desire is the cause for all suffering and misery. Suffering and misery can be abolished by removing desire. Desire can be overcome by following the Eightfold Path. This includes right views, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right efforts, right mindfulness, and right meditation. Several Buddhist monuments stand all over India to this day, such as the world-renowned Ajanta and Ellora caves, the Kanheri and Karla caves, as well as universities at Sanchi and Amravati. Gautam Buddha passed away in 483 BC. Though he lived centuries ago, his birthday is still remembered as Buddha Jayanti in India. The Bodhi tree is still worshipped as a symbol of enlightenment even today. From that day,
Sorry guys, I'll just resume it. Sorry, apologies.
Bodhi tree under which he meditated 9 days of meditation at the age of 30. Remembered as Buddha Jayanti in India. The Bodhi tree is still worshipped as a symbol of enlightenment even today.
Sorry, all good guys. Had a bit of a technology hiccup. I thought the video still had a lot more left, but I think it rewinded. So that was just a very quick summary of his story. If you didn't know about it, put it in the chat box. I'm just curious to see if you knew his story before, or you might remember I told a very quick nutshell, I think in the Advanced series back last year. But that was just a couple of things to highlight that about Buddha, that he is a very epitomous symbol. If you think of meditation nowadays in a modern sense, we see a lot of Buddha statues, in a lot of maybe candle stores or spiritual stores, and it has that peacefulness in his statue as well. And we always, I guess, know that Buddhism is usually a very peaceful religion. It's they usually have, say, the monks who practice and preach Buddhism. They always preach about that peacefulness, the middle path, etc. And so with Sri Buddha, Shri Mataji has said that yes, he is a very important figure. As he looks after your right agya, or the ego, he was also, you could say, in a way, an incarnation of the divine, because he was a real person that came on this earth, and he was born as a prince. And even though the astrologer had predicted that, okay, either he's going to be a great king or a great saint, and his parents were devastated to hear that, because they wanted him to, of course, be a king. But I guess whatever anyone's meant to achieve in life, he sort of grew up in the luxuries, but never was fully satisfied. And then, of course, his curiosity got to him. He saw the outside world where there was that suffering, illness, of course, ultimately death as well, which got him thinking that, oh, okay, life is not always just those luxuries and happiness, because it's not mentioned in the video, but stories of him, they say that in the palace, his father would hide, those sort of unpleasant sides of life. So he never actually really saw any of the unpleasantness, I guess it's a word, the unpleasant side of life in the palace. And so, of course, he ventured out He relinquished his sort of luxurious life and meditated. He did try, they do say, the extreme forms of meditation like asceticism, where, you might starve yourself or eat very minimal each day, things like that, hoping to get realization. But he found that was futile, that suffering or harming yourself is never going to achieve anything. And that's why Shri Mataji also says that, you don't have to suffer to try and find the truth or that inner peace. Because if you are suffering in the process of trying to find it, then that's not the right process. And so then when he sort of kept seeking, and then meditating under that Bodhi tree, they say, he got his realization or enlightenment, and then, of course, preached it all over the world. And so in that video, it does say that, of course, desire, I guess, is one cause of unhappiness. Which Mataji says too, that, the more we sometimes desire for things and we don't get it, we get upset, and then, our expectations fall and we get annoyed that, oh, why is this not working out? But I think also, because when it said that, okay, well, we shouldn't desire. And I thought, okay, but Shri Mataji says, but we should desire in some videos. So you'll find even in Shri Mataji's talks that in one talk, she might say, be desireless, surrender, don't desire too much. But another talk, she will say that if you want good things to happen or work out in the world, you must desire. And I used to wonder, why is that? But then I realized that sometimes we need to hear a particular message, maybe in that particular state of life or mind we're going through. If we are in a state, we are feeling a bit disappointed and edgy, we do have to maybe let go of those desires we're holding on to and pray inside, Mother, please give us pure desires, let go of any impure ones. But then things like when we do see sad things on the news or anything that happens in life, we still need to use that left side power, the Mahakali power of our desire that, Mother, we do desire change in the world. We do desire good. So it's all about balance at the end of the day. If you do hear contradictory things sometimes in Mother's talks, like, oh, one says this, one says that. At the end of the day, it's about that balance. And so let's start our meditation now. So you can sit comfortably, and I'll just bring up Shri Mataji's photo as well. Okay, and I'll just stop my video so you can still hear my voice. And so what we can do is, you've already taken your bandhan, so you can just keep your hands open on your lap. If you're removing glasses, things like that, you can take them off for a bit and just sit very comfortably. Keep your hands open on your lap. You can close your eyes if you wish. And just praying inside of us that, Mother, please help me to feel the peace inside. Please help me to feel the peace and quietness and take away any of the busyness from the day, any thoughts, worries, future planning. And now let's start with our good old balancing to clear out anything, get us into balance. Dropping the right hand down by our side, keeping the left hand open. And just praying to Shri Mataji that, Mother, please look after my left channel. Please take away any negativities that are bothering me from the left channel. Bring your right hand on your lap, bend your left arm at the elbow. And just praying here, Mother, please look after my right channel and take away any heat, any negativity, future planning thoughts. Then you can bring your hand down, placing your right hand on the center of your stomach, just below your belly button. So this is your second energy center, the Swadhisthana. And we're just going to say one mantra to Shri Brahmadeva Saraswati. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Brahmadeva Saraswati Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Then bring your hand higher above your belly button to your third energy center, the Nabhi. And we'll say one mantra here to Shri Lakshmi Vishnu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lakshmi Vishnu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Mother, please bring the peace and satisfaction within me. Please make me a generous person. Let my heart and Nabhi open out to everyone, so that I'm generous and loving to all. I guess just a reminder to everyone that anytime you feel unsettled, agitated, a bit anxious, it's usually then our Nabhi chakra also gets a bit unsettled or uncomfortable, and then we just have to remind ourselves that, okay, Mother, please make it peaceful, please make it all right. And don't forget the ice pack as well, and the liver if you ever need it. So you can put our left hand on the liver, right hand on your lap. And we can just pray, Mother, please cool down my liver. Take away any heat that may be bothering it. And then you can put your right hand on your heart and just praying here, Mother, please make my heart strong. And say here, Mother, please make my heart strong so that I can overcome anything. And what we can do here is can take a couple of deep breaths in and out to help clear it as well. So we can take a big deep breath in Hold it for 2 seconds and then fully exhale. Deep breath again. And exhale. One more deep breath. And then exhale. We put our hand then on our Vishuddhi, our throat chakra in the center, and we can say one mantra to Shri Radha Krishna. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Radha Krishna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And now take your right hand, keep your right hand on your lap. Take your left hand and place it on the left side of your head. So this being the left side of your brain, which looks after your right channel. And it's where our ego is and where Sri Buddha resides. So we'll just say one mantra to Sri Buddha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Buddha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Sri Buddha, you look after the ego inside of us. Please keep us in balance and take away any negativities that may be affecting our Agya chakra. So if you are someone, that is prone to getting sometimes headaches or migraines, that usually comes from the excessive thinking which we have in modern life. So the liver heats up, and then your head also heats up a lot. Sometimes it can also be due to our ego. So if we are indulging a lot of, oh, I'm doing this, I'm that, and forgetting that it's a divine power that does it all, we're just instruments. We can also get that, and you'll feel then the heaviness on that side of your head. So ice packs are always good on the liver, and even you can put it on your head, on your forehead or the left side of the head, where you might be feeling a bit of that heat or pressure. And then, of course, remembering to drink lots of water to keep yourself hydrated and in balance. So you can just sit in silence for about a minute or two.
Today is a great day to come to Brighton because it's the day of Buddha's birthday. Today is Buddha's birthday, Lord Buddha's birthday. You all have heard about his birth of a large white elephant. Before the birth, of Buddha. And then it was predicted that a child will be born in your family who will be either a great saint or a very great king, as in Sanskrit called Chakravarti, means the one who is the ruler of the whole world. So the father got worried and he thought he must get the son involved into the family life, into material life, and give him all the pleasures of life. So he built a very special place for him, beautiful palace to live in. And where he got him married to a girl called Yashodhara, was a very, very beautiful woman, gave him all the pleasures of life, everything that he could do to entice this boy away from asceticism. Also, you know the story of his going one day on the road, how he found three types of people, and how he felt that why a person should become old, why should a person suffer in life, and why should people die. So all these three things put an inquiry into himself, and he started trying to understand why these things happen to human beings. With this the inquiry started. So he reached a point where he could not bear any more the comforts and all the attachments that were entangled around him by his father. He had a son whose name was Rahul, and he left the son and the wife in the search of the truth. Now, he started from a wrong end, I should say, for the search of the truth, because he wanted to know why there are miseries in the human beings. And so he started from collective towards the set. When we see miseries all around us, many people have seen, they say, what about others? Will everybody get realization? Will everybody will have this? You see, this comes from the wrong end, I feel, because first of all we must know, are we all right? Are we perfect? Are we full of joy? Have we received the absolute knowledge? If you start from this point, it's always better. Because he started from the wrong point, searching it from the collective, to remove the miseries of the people, he had to go in a very roundabout. So he read all the books and Vedas, and this he went to big Pandits, to all the great knowledgeable people, to meet them, to ask them the answer why there are these three things. That is, the roga is the health or miserable physical body, then the death and the old age. Went and asked so many people, and they said, you have to die because you are born. And then they said that you have to become old because you are born like that. And you have to suffer because you commit sins. He was not satisfied with his answer. So he went on searching and searching and searching. And then he got tired, absolutely fed up. When he went to a place called Gaya, very near Patna it is, I have seen the place and the tree. And he sat under a banyan tree where he slept off because he got so tired of his sleep. And after the sleep he got up and suddenly he got his realization. And he thought the whole drama is over. Now his mother herself was Adi Shakti, who gave him the birth. And she died just after the birth of the child. And he got this realization. Now at that time, when he got his realization, there was nobody to tell him what it is, that what it means. Realization is nobody to decode or talk about anything that was to be understood by him. But because of his tremendous seeking and such ardent desire that the Shuddha Ichha, the Kundalini itself, rose. But of course the Adi Shakti blessed him and he got his realization under the banyan tree. Now any incarnation which came on this earth had to samayachar, according to the time, the need of the time had to act, firstly. Secondly, the need of the incarnation to come on this earth was first created in the human being. So supposing at a time when there was too much of ritualism, Brahmanism or priesthood, and people were trying to take everything onto those artificial rituals and all that, an incarnation had to come on this earth to correct those ideas. Like Krishna came at a time when he said, this is all Leela, puja and everything he cancelled. There's nothing to it, no puja, nothing. You just have ras, enjoy yourself. It's all a joke going on, see. So he brought that concept at that time in the awareness of people that the whole world is a Leela, is a play of God's own whims. So you just enjoy it. And that's how he created this wonderful festival of Holi, which we had in Delhi. I don't know, any one of you who was there for the Holi? No. You were there?
2 years back.
No, but this time you were not there. All right. You might get the pictures of that. All right. So in the same way, when Buddha came in, first problem was that he thought that it's better not to talk about God. Because in his search, everybody told him the answer was, oh, it's God who does it. He punishes you. It's God who gives you this old age. It's God who does it. But what is this God after all? Why does he do it? He said, you better ask the God. Where is the God? So everybody put every blame on God as usual. Even that's done today. Nothing so new. And nothing unusual, I should say. So this must be done by God himself. If you cut your throat, God put my knife in my hand and he cut my throat. So you see, he thought better not talk of God. Because everybody is going towards God. Then the people whom he met, they said, now I have become God. He said, how? He said, I am God. Oh, what? Why? Because he could mesmerize people. He said, I have become God. Just imagine. So he thought that is very dangerous to talk of God, because people take God in the hand and use it for their own purpose. Always say, oh, this is what the God has to do, and it's God has done it, and I'm in connection with God and I'll tell God. So he got a fright and he said, better not talk about God, because that puts the attention of the people on ritualism, artificial things. They are building temples after temples and just doing all these horrible things which one should not do. Like if you go to the south, you'll find the in the temples they shave their heads of the leaves. They shave it completely. And that they have to, this all cobbled along the sides of the walls of the temple. And the ladies who shave their head are just rolling along the sides. You see. They have to do it sometimes 1008 times, rolling. Imagine. And the water is poured on them. See. God knows what is the ritual from where it has come. So the poor women go on rolling like that. And somebody is pouring water on them all the time, buckets after buckets. The husband and the brother and all, they bring one after another. You see, one is finished and another one. Poor ladies rolling like that on that muddy, sort of a cobbled area. I mean, I was shocked when I saw this. I said, what's this? And then later on, you see, they became modern. So they started selling the hair, you see, abroad. So the whole thing became a big industry in Madras, you see. The hair was made into this bouffant and all that you call it, you see. That's sent to England and other places. So, it's, I mean, in the name of God, ridiculous things were done, ridiculous things were done. So he just thought, better not talk about God. The first step is self-realization. He was a great Sahaja Yogi, I must say. Because he said, nothing doing, don't talk about God or anything. First you get your realization. That was the first condition. Establish it. Unless and until you have established your realization, nothing doing. So he just started his own method of propagating Buddha's knowledge, or you can Buddhism as they call it. Of course it became ism later on. So all that he started with the idea that people should first become Buddha. Buddha means realize. Buddha is to know. So Buddha means the person who has known, means the one who is a realized. So what he says, Buddham Sharanam Gaccham. I bow, no, I surrender. Sharanam means I surrender to the Buddhas, means to all the Sahaja Yogis.
So that was quite a nice talk, and I didn't actually realize it went quite quickly and quite short. I'm sure a lot of us probably would have wanted to keep hearing more of it. So I'll find the talk shortly and we can listen a little bit more extra what she was trying to say. But let's just take a moment to just absorb what she has described. That life is to be simple, not caught up in those ritualisms and conditionings, which are often in sort of the eastern side of the world, in sort of some of the Asian countries, things like that. You know, we sometimes grow up with a lot of conditionings or rituals. So the aim is always your self-realization, following that, trusting that, growing in it, and being in the company of Sahaja Yogis as well, which helps us grow. So that prayer she started saying is actually a prayer that is also in the mantra book, and we can go through it together and say it. So in the mantra book, there is a section about Sri Buddha, and the prayer is here And the first line is in Sanskrit. So we can say it together. And you may have also heard the song that is sung by a group called One Tree based on these lyrics, which I'll play later as well. So the Sanskrit way, we say it as Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, Shri Sharanam Gacchami. I surrender myself to my self-realization and to all those who are realized souls. I surrender myself to Dharma, to the innate religion that is Vishwa Nirmala Dharma. So often Mother says that what we do in Sahaja Yoga, it's almost like a universal religion because it brings in all the principles and ideologies together. And Vishwa Nirmala just means universal, pure religion. Dharma is like your religion or the principles that you follow in life. I surrender myself to collectivity and as a collective community of realized souls. I surrender myself to Shri Adi Shakti Mataji. So you can just take a moment to just appreciate that prayer. And in a way, it helps us to humble down. So sometimes when we do feel like we all get those days we do feel a bit, oh, I'm the best, or the ego comes in, or we're bombarded with a lot of thoughts. But if we remind ourselves, like, okay, I surrender to my realization, to my inner religion, inner principles, the Kundalini, to the collective community of Sahaja Yogis, and of course, at the end of the day, to Shri Mataji. You can feel those worries and burdens lift off. So what we can do now is, if you wish to stay back and still meditate with us, I found another excerpt of Mother's talk about Sri Buddha, which we can listen to. If you do have to go, that's completely fine. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next week. So this other excerpt, it's not connected to the one we just watched, as I'll have to look for the full video for that one, and I can share that later on. But we can listen to this other one instead, and then we'll call it a night.
Today we have assembled here to do Sri Buddha Puja. I don't know how many of you have read of Buddha's life and how ultimately he achieved his enlightenment. I don't know how many of you have really seen the Buddhists or have met them, those who call themselves Buddhist. As in every religion, all of them got lost into some sort of a fundamentalism, because none of them got realization. And that's why everybody established their own style of religion. Even you can say that Tao of Lao Tse also, or Zen of Viditama, all of them are offshoots of the same. You have to see how he first felt that one has to seek something beyond life. Once we are very much satisfied with whatever we have, because he was a king's son, he had a very nice wife, he had a son, and naturally anybody in that position would be quite satisfied. But he saw a very sick man one day, he saw a beggar, and also he saw a dead man, and everybody crying for that dead person. He couldn't understand how this misery has come, and what is the need to have this misery. So he gave up his family, he gave up his luxuries of life, everything he gave up and went in search of the truth, as many of you have done. He would have been lost also, I would say, because he read all the Upanishads and he read all the books that were possible for him to say what is the truth is. But he couldn't get anything. He took a complete sannyasa, in the sense, as far as the food is concerned, as far as the entertainment is concerned, everything he gave up. And ultimately he was lying under a banyan tree, and suddenly the Adi Shakti gave him realization, because he was so true and was one of the one marked for a special place in the Virata. He had to achieve that. Of course, I need not tell you about his previous lives. Perhaps in so many of my lectures I have already talked about it. What was his previous life and how he achieved his own enlightenment about himself. But what we have to see from his life is that he discovered and he found out that want is the reason, the desire is the reason of all the miseries. But he didn't know what was the real want, what was the pure want, what was the pure desire. And that's how he could not explain to people that they have to take to their awakening through their Kundalini. As he had followed such a ascetic life, that became the code for the Buddhist. The other day I was reading about Buddha when I was in Thailand, and I was surprised that the bhikkhus, the bhikkhu is actually Sanskrit, it means bhukshuk, is the one who asks for alms, or a beggar you can call it, but religious beggar. So he used to carry thousands of people with him, at least minimum of 1,000, bare feet, without any provision for food, without any arrangements for stay, nothing. And they were supposed to shave off their heads completely. No moustaches, no hair on the body at all. Moreover, they were supposed to wear only one dress. One long dress they had to tie up like this and cover themselves. Whether it was cold season or it was a warm season, whatever it was, they were not allowed to sing or to dance or to entertain themselves by anything. And food was just collected from the village, whatever they visited, whatever they got, very minimum, whatever they got, it was cooked for them, and they would offer their guru first and then eat that food. Imagine 1,000 people going like that, bare feet, in the scorching heat or in the mud or in rain. In all seasons they used to walk, giving up all their family relationships. Even if the husband and wife, both of them joined the Sangha, then they were not supposed to live like husband and wife. So to give up all other physical wants, mental wants, emotional wants, was the way they tried to follow, because he said the want creates it. But if you see the Buddhists, they do all these things. You'll be amazed, even if he's a king, he does that. And many kings who joined at that time, one of them was Ashok from India. He dressed up like that, he became like that, he started traveling in the same manner and tried to lead a complete ascetic life. Very difficult life it was, and they thought that by doing all that they will achieve their realization. They say that two of his disciples did achieve. Their names are Moggallana and Sariputta. These two people got their realization. But the whole thing was absolutely a life dry and insipid. Had no fun in it. No children were allowed, no family life was allowed. So it became a very secluded, very harsh, I can say very dry life. Though it was called as a Sangha, means the collectivity. But in that collectivity, there was no rapport as such, because they were not supposed to talk too much. They were not supposed to discuss anything about, say, politics or economics or anything. Only they could talk about meditation of achieving the highest life. So you can imagine what sort of life they had to lead to become enlightened. And that idea continued in so many religions. Especially it then started making people take away the money of the householders by saying that you have to give up everything. Of course, at the time of Buddha also they had to give up everything and join the Sangha. But here it was a genuine effort of Buddha to take them to enlightenment, to make them people who were knowledgeable about the absolute realities. But it did not happen. And that is the reason why we find that Buddhists have gone into different types of funny Buddhism. For example, now we have some Buddhism, say in Japan, where it was not allowed to kill any animal. So they said, all right, we are not killing any animal, but we can eat killed animals. They found out a solution out of that. Then also, then they could kill human beings, because it's not allowed to kill animals, but we can kill human beings. So Japanese become experts in killing human beings. How people find out loopholes, you can see this very clearly. Then the second type of Buddhism came, where this Lao Tse taught about Tao. But Tao actually he's the only one who started talking about Kundalini. Tao is the Kundalini. But that too was too much for these people. They just couldn't understand what he was talking about. But the way he expressed himself in paintings and other things, just to deviate from that kind of a harsh Buddhism. But somehow, despite that, it never took proper roots. And I have met people who follow Tao and absolutely don't understand how these people are following the path of Kundalini. There's a river called Yangtze by which, when you travel, you find variety of things. After every 5 minutes, the scene changes, or the beautiful mountains take another form, and you have lots of waterfalls, and it's very interesting. That is the Kundalini. Tao is that river. But it said that you should not divert your attention to these temptations which are outside. You should see them, but move. And that is what is Tao, which he brought in. But they got lost because they started painting all those things and doing all kinds of more into art. Basically, Buddha never thought of any art. He never wanted to have any art, and he didn't want to do anything with art. He said, but only thing is that you have to introspect and go within and deep down and find out what is the absolute truth. So the whole thing started deviating like this. Then this Zen system was the same as mixed up with Kundalini, which Viditama, one of his great disciples, who started in Japan. Now, the Zen system is that they used to put, I sometimes hit also on the back of the, what you call the spinal cord, on the chakras, and they would try to raise the Kundalini. All kinds of horrible things. In the Zen system, they developed very harsh methods of raising the Kundalini. It went to such a limit that I have met people who have broken their spinal cords. Then Kundalini will never rise in any case if the spinal cord. Please pay attention here. One lady walks out, then attention goes out. If your attention is so poor, please pay attention here. Do you understand that? If one person walks out, your attention should not go, and please don't come inside to disturb. You see, the trouble is we must understand that our attention has to be steady. Any lady walks out, if your attention moves out, then understand that you have to meditate more. Please keep the attention. So now, then this Viditama Zen also took a very different form. I met for the head of the Viditama Zen system, and I was surprised because they called me because he was very sick, so they said, Mother, please help him to cure. But I found he was not at all a realized soul and did not know a word about Kundalini. So I said, how are you the head? How is it that you have become the head when you do not know the meaning of Kundalini? So he said, what is Kundalini? He couldn't understand anything. I said, what is Zen? Zen is to meditate, dhyan. I said, all right. But what about it? Yes, there is. So confused he was. Then I asked him, you are not a realized soul. Then how is it you are the head? He said, we never had any realized soul for now ages. Only for 6 centuries we had some Kashyapas, they called them Kashyapas. And after that we had no realized souls at all. So just think under what circumstances you got your realization. Without sacrificing anything, without giving up anything, without working out any one of these tapasyas, penances, because Buddha is a tapa. These three deities on your Agya Chakra, Christ, Mahavira and Buddha, three of them are tapa. Tapa means penance. You have to do penance. And penance now in Sahaja Yoga doesn't mean that you give up your wife or give up your husband, give up your children, give up your family. But here tapa means meditation. And for meditation you must know when to get up. That should be the most important thing for a Sahaja Yoga. The rest of the things automatically will work out. And you'll understand. To grow your depth, you have to meditate. It's an absolutely simple thing. You don't have to shave your head. You don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to walk bare feet. You can sing, you can dance, you can entertain yourself with music. You're not even allowed to see a drama or a play or anything like that. So many things, if you see the list, you'll go really crazy. How could people exist? But there were 1,000 people with him who were traveling with him. And they became so poor, they were just wearing rags. Ultimately, a big trader was passing by and he saw them and he thought, what poor people, these are just beggars. God knows they are lepers and what are they. And he had a great feeding for them and he gave them some food to eat and everything. And still he did not know that it was Tathagata, means it was Buddha who was going. So the Buddha's main thing, Buddha itself means bodh, from bodh. And the bodh means to know the reality on your central nervous system is the bodh. You all have become now Buddhas without giving up anything, because whatever he gave up was all nonsense. It was a myth. If it was a myth, what's the use of giving up the myth? What does it matter if you listen to music? What does it matter if you dance? It doesn't matter at all. But these ideas went so deep into these people that you really feel such pity and such compassion that look at them, where are they getting lost? They don't eat their food, they have their food only once in a while and they are starving. They look like really worse than TB patients. But while you people look like really roses, beautifully, all of you are enjoying life and everything is there. But still one has to know that we have to have that principle of Buddha within ourselves. And what is that principle of Buddha is that we have to do tapa. Tapa doesn't mean, I don't say you starve yourself. But also if you have too much interest in food, it's better to take too little fasting. I never said that you should not enjoy music, never, no question, you should. But then you should enjoy music which is for your emancipation, for your awakening, for your ascent. I don't say don't do, because yourself now you are a Buddha. Buddha was not to be told anything, he told everyone, but he was not to be told. In the same way, I don't have to tell you, it is only you have to understand. But sometimes we are really bound by so many conditionings that I find very difficult for people to understand what is the spirit. Spirit is boundless. It is a free expression of God's love. So when it comes to the free expression of God's love, the compassion, the love, then one has to understand, do we do that or not? Even now there are many conditionings which are still working in us. For example, some of you are like this, that I belong to this nationality, to that nationality, I am this, I am that. We are very proud of that. We cannot mix up with other people. We are too high for the other people, or something like that. You are now become a universal being. So how can you have these stupid limitations which are mythical again? So one must see, introspect and find out if we are having, what's the matter with her? Take her away. Also with your children you must see, very important how they behave. If they are aggressive or how they behave is very important, because they are also Buddhas, they are also realized souls, but they have certain conditionings in them and they are behaving according to those conditionings. Now, as it is, you can see there is light within us. What happens? That we start seeing what's wrong with us and we just drop it out. But even when you see that, if you cannot drop it out, then must know that you need more of power. Then you must learn how to raise your Kundalini, how to be connected with the divine power all the time, so that you are in thoughtless awareness and that you grow within yourself in a depth. I find the conditioning that is very much lurking still is my and mine in still and Sahaja Yogis. Like before this, what I had heard about, say, English or all Western people, because I am talking to the Western people here, that they didn't care for their family, their wives, their children. Every third day they were divorcing, or fourth day they are running off with some other husbands or something like that. Now I find they stick like glue. Wife becomes very important, husband becomes very important, my house becomes very important, my children become very important. And first they were not interested in children, now they are sticking on to children like as if with some glue. It's impossible for them to tell that, see, children belong to the Sangha, to the collectivity. You don't think this is your child. Once you start thinking like that, then you are limiting yourself and getting into problems. The country-wise also the problems are reducing very much, I should say. Also we don't like to be racist. I know people hate those who are racist. They want racialism to go away. As in India, I've seen Sahaja Yogis want all the caste system must go away, because these are self-destructive. So we start seeing in ourselves what is self-destructive, what will destroy me, then what will destroy my family, then what will destroy my country, and what will destroy the whole world. All these ventures which are just the opposite of your constructive life, you start seeing, you see your derailment, you see you are going towards destruction, and you can stop it. And that is very important, only possible if you try to introspect yourself and meditate and see, have I got this quality? Some of them are very proud of their certain temperaments. Like, I am like this, what to do, mother, I am like this. No more. Now all your beautiful qualities have been awakened by your Kundalini. Shows that nothing was dead, nothing was finished. They were all there intact. And when the Kundalini started rising, she just awakened all those beautiful qualities. Apart from that,
On that note, thanks everyone for joining. I hope you found today's session somewhat interesting and productive, and you learned something new. I personally found it very good in that it reminded us of course, Buddha's principle, but it also put into perspective how fortunate we are in Sahaja Yoga in these modern times, that she has said many times, we don't have to give up anything to achieve that inner peace and self-realization, compared to some of the harsher or stricter ways some other religions follow. So in a way, we can say in our heart that thank you, Shri Mataji, that you came on this earth. You gave us all this knowledge. You spread all this wisdom over the years and gave all these innumerable lectures to teach us and to guide us. And you did it in a way which was very motherly, very humorous, and she was never adverse or strict with us at all, because she always says that it's your Kundalini that guides you. You become your own master. So we can just give that thanks in our heart. That thank you, Mother. Thank you for that knowledge. Thank you for looking after us. And may you continue to do so in the coming days and years ahead. And hopefully the whole world gets enlightened, and also we also spread the message of Sahaj wherever we can. So thanks all for joining. It was great to have you on board today. We can raise our Kundalini and put on our bandhan if you wish. And we'll just leave a little bit of music playing in the end if you'd like to listen or meditate more. But thank you again for coming. Have a great night, great evening, great night, great day ahead. And we will see you all around. Thank you. Shri Mataji.
नाम न जाने धाम ना जाने न सेवा पूजा जाने बस इतना जान हम एक बिना नहीं दूजा नहीं दूजा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे तुम धरती आकाश हमारे तुम धरती आकाश हमारे माता तुम आशा विश्वास मात तात तुम बंधु भ्रात हो दिवस रात्रि संध्या प्रभात हो मात तात तुम बंधु भ्रात हो दिवस रात्रि संध्या प्रभात हो दीपक सूर्य चंद्र तारक में हो मां तुम ही तुम्ही मधुमास हमारे माता, तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे। तुम ही हो सब, है तुम में सब, तुम ही हो भव, हो तुम ही रब, अश्रु हमारे आँखों में तुम, ओ माँ तुम होठों पर
Thanks all for joining.